welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. My name is Candice Marie. Thanks for joining me. I'll be your astrologer today. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back at it with another video, and we're going to be taking a look at this up-and-coming Mercury Cazimi in the sign of Aquarius. If you guys like my content and you want to see more of it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell button below. That way you get alerts as to when I have new videos. I'm always here every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday using tarot and astrology to make sense of what's going on in the cosmos. Very excited to talk to you guys about this aspect. Leave me all kinds of comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and let me know what insights you guys get from this Cazimi. Now, this will be happening on February 9th, 2025. And as you guys are watching this Thursday, the Sun and Mercury are moving very close. So we're going to see it coming up over the next couple of days. And it will be actually, like I said, happening on the 9th. I'll take you guys through the 12 rising signs at the end of this video and give you some insight as to what to watch for with this particular aspect. Now, if you are somebody who's ruled by Mercury, so if you are a Gemini or a Virgo rising, this is pretty impactful for you, as well as my Leos who are ruled by the Sun, and obviously Aquarius placements as well. The specific degree of the Cazimi is going to be at 21 degrees of Aquarius. So if you have anything from 20 to 22 degrees, definitely pay attention, as this is going to be more prominent. And Mercury likes to play tricks, so we have to really look for those messages. I've done tons of videos on Cazimis. You guys know every time one happens, I love to put something out on this. I'm personally born with a Mercury Cazimi, and the Cazimi is happening right on my North Node in Aquarius in my 5th house. So I decided to do something fun in this next week. I'm actually going to be creating another one of my vlog series. I'm going to do an extra bonus video for you guys, and it'll be my Get Ready With Me video. Leave me a comment on this video or check out my latest post on the community tab or on my X account, and you guys can ask me questions that you want answers to. So anything you guys have wondered about me, what I'm up to, my thoughts on transits, or anything in particular, I'll be promoting this video and putting some of your guys' questions and spotlighting certain users. So if you want a chance to be featured in that video, make sure you leave me a comment on one of these posts, and I will give you some insight into things you guys have always wanted to know about me. I figured, given the Sabian symbol, it's a really great way to be able to use this energy, and it's been a while since I've done a personal vlog. If you guys haven't seen the first one, check it out. They're lots of fun. All right, so yeah, obviously dazzling aspect. I'm predicting that there's going to be good news, lots of insight, and opportunities for community building and connections with other people, since this will be taking place in the sign of Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac. It is an air sign, traditionally ruled by Saturn, but its modern day ruler is Uranus. So we'll be taking a look at the aspects of other planets and how it's kind of connected to this epiphany moment or instant download. For some of us, it's a dream or noticing a sequence of numbers, having some rare coincidence or chance meeting, which brings us some kind of good fortune. The Cazimi is the aspect where Mercury makes a superior conjunction to the Sun, breaking in front of the Sun and relaying a message to the King. So the significance of this is some kind of breakthrough when it comes to communication, thought, travel. Something sort of just aligns very closely, and it gives us some kind of sense of awareness. And this is the Cazimi, meaning is in the heart of the Sun. So it indicates like this period where energies, Mercury's energies are being purified, strengthened, and illuminated, aka, Mercury is dying and being reborn in the heart of the Sun. So watch for some sort of infusion of clarity, insight, and a lot more mental activity. It's seen as a very potent time for new ideas, communication breakthroughs, as well as starting new ventures that are related to information exchange or potentially even learning. I do think that for me, I've always experienced these transits as like a moment of needing to make a decision or receiving some kind of guidance or some kind of answer from the universe. I have found that it manifests in the form of significant conversations, sometimes negotiations, major revelations, and sometimes like I will just find snippets of things. I'll see something fall out of a book, I'll read a little piece of an article, I'll recover something that's been missing that gives me some kind of clue to something that I've had questions about. So For you guys, you may experience that. This may also manifest as a time that's really good for signing contracts, launching projects, or initiating anything involving communication, learning, or travel. Now, watch for those potential mental downloads, significant dreams, omens, anything like that, that will provide some sudden insight that can lead to innovative solutions or some kind of creative project. Now, in particular, in the sign of Aquarius, obviously, this is going to be emphasizing Aquarius themes. So themes like innovative thinking, forward-looking ideas, and unconventional communication is likely going to be some of the hot topics, as well as social awareness, group dynamics, and technology-related activities are going to come into focus. Aquarius is also future-minded. It's about future patterns, where we're going in the future, our goals, and how we can kind of come together as a community. So it's possible we could also see breakthroughs in scientific or humanitarian areas, or some sort of inspired community-oriented projects. Now, this is important. Obviously, we're tracking Mercury very closely now that the South Node is in Virgo. So just as a recap for you guys, with the South Node in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, Mercury transits are going to pack a little bit more of a punch, and it can remind us of what needs to go, reminders of the past, or something that's gone missing, or maybe something we didn't see before. If there's some need to reference a document, a job, a fellow, previous employee or coworker, we might be reevaluating or reconnecting to some of those things, obviously, because these are the topics associated with Virgo. And there is going to be this undertone of releasing past patterns with this one, relating to service or detail orientation, possibly even health. And I think this is an opportunity for us to come together and really focus on the need to let go of perfectionism or being overly critical in our thinking. So that way we can embrace Aquarius's more detached, innovative perspective. Obviously, that's a huge theme with Pluto and Aquarius. We are all hoping to be able to do that. And we can do that if we have community support and like-minded, people in our corner that can encourage growth and also solutions for the future. Now, I do think that this might potentially be also bringing up themes revolving around balance and, like the analytical side of Virgo, and that if we become too critical or too kind of over analytical, it can kind of blur or create issues with being able to see into the future, right? If we're getting too wound up in what's happened in the past or what didn't work, or rehashing things and not letting things go, it can keep us from being optimistic about making changes. Now, obviously, Aquarius is traditionally ruled by Saturn, but I look at the modern day ruler, which would be Uranus. And recently, at the end of January, we saw that Uranus went direct in the sign of Taurus, a sign that is associated with Venus, so money, love, pleasure, values, resources, banking, stability, security, food, farming, right? All these themes are connected to Taurus. So with Uranus being direct, it kind of adds a little bit more of an extra punch. And obviously, Uranus is hovering at that 23 degrees where we are seeing exponential growth and things speeding up very quickly in these departments. I think the connection with Uranus being direct and just a few short days after this Cazimi, both Mercury and the Sun will come into a hard aspect. It will square Uranus, which is further kind of projecting us into the future physical changes, self-esteem changes, resources, values are going to need to change, as well as money. So I do think the Cazimi coming beforehand is really encouraging sudden change and revolutionary ideas, but it's likely going to give us some unexpected insights or some curveballs that can definitely rock, rattle, and roll our stability. This is really about promoting a break from traditional methods, enhancing unconventional or innovative or potentially even rebellious energies from the collective. So collectively, people are going to be rebelling against the changes that are happening in the food, banking, financial system. We're also going to see lots of challenge and also pushback to recent years' agenda when it comes to humanitarian efforts. Things like global warming or efficient energy practices. So we're going to see some extremism on both sides where some people are possibly coming out against some of these themes, claiming that some of this climate concerns is potentially not necessarily founded in science. And then we're going to see on the other hand, there's going to be a lot of people pushing back saying, well, we need to protect the environment. We cannot just be kind of stealing or taking resources. So watch for that. Now, I want to read to you guys a little bit from some of my books here to give you a little bit more context. And I actually want to start with Robert Hahn today. So we're going to take a look at planets in transit. We're going to see what Robert Hahn has to say about conjunctions between the Sun and Mercury. Now, keep in mind, this is the superior conjunction. So as you guys are watching this, Mercury and the Sun are already conjunct, but we're going to see that kind of exact moment around the 9th. This transit emphasizes the areas that are ruled by Mercury. There are several of these areas in which you emphasize most depends on your personal nature. First opportunity to get your point of view across to others, and you may be more inclined to talk than listen. Because like all conjunctions, this one makes you take the initiative and start things. You may be more involved in sending or receiving letters. This is also a good time to take care of routine paperwork because your mind will be clearer than usual and you will have little difficulty concentrating. This is an excellent day for starting a new business venture. Mercury rules commerce and favors rapid interchange of ideas and plans that is necessary for business activity. Here again, you will be helped by the sharpness of the mind conferred by this transit. The nature of this transit makes you most concerned with matters that apply directly to yourself or that you speak to you through your personal experience. You're more involved in examining yourself, stating your position with respect to others, and announcing the intentions in examining the world. You are an active agent with respect to the world at large. You initiate communication, you talk to others, and you express your point of view. Nevertheless, it's important to have a thorough understanding of the people and conditions you live with. Being excessively involved in yourself or your own ideas will weaken effectiveness in what you do today. If your mind is filled with only your thoughts, intentions, and what you plan to say, you will miss the important cues from others concerning your own plans. This is a good time to make plans for the future. You have a good understanding of your needs and you can plan intelligently to achieve what you want as long as you aren't too preoccupied with yourself. You may travel today for an activated Mercury creates restless tension with you that makes you want to move around. Try to go out and experience as much of the world as possible. You'll be able to take in quite a bit. So interesting that, like the Sun, right? The ego, the self, anything that revolves around your own personal creativity or your desires, your drive. That conjunction with Mercury is pretty like self-focused or self-absorbed in some scenarios. But being in the sign of Aquarius, it's basically saying, take your ideas to a group, share it with a group, bounce ideas off of each other, throw your hat in the ring and, make some kind of proposal or announcement and then be open to feedback, right? Obviously, it's going to come with necessary change, but kind of an interesting take on the Sun Mercury in Aquarius. Now for the Sabian symbol for you guys, I'm going to be rounding up. So we're going to be reading the Sabian symbol for 22 degrees of Aquarius. A rug placed on the floor for children to play. The keyword is refinement. The game of life. The symbol speaks to the comforts and conveniences of life that provides for man's development. The image of a rug placed on the floor for children to play alludes to caretaking and thoughtfulness, and it illustrates the natural tendency of the experienced and strong to try to protect the innocent and weak. The emphasis on this degree is self-discovery through creative experimentation and recreation. On a practical level, the symbol speaks to guardianship and nurturance, the kind of relationships that exist between a parent and a child. Minister and parishioner, or teacher and student. At its highest, the symbol represents a natural gift for making sense of the game of life and using whatever lies at hand to accomplish immediate objectives. Watch for immaturity or avoidance of responsibility or childish self-pampering. The accent is on facilitation. You may receive a helping hand or assistance from someone who cares about you. Your greatest advantage lies in making the best of possible use of what life gives you to work with. If you find yourself in a difficult situation, there is something for you to gain from it. Guard against taking things for granted or failing to appreciate what you have. Remember the adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. Stepping stones are accommodation, facilitation, care, assistance, aid, concern, helpfulness, sensitivity, service, comfort, improvement. And that's pretty much it. So interesting, right? I kind of broke this down a little bit and thought about the imagery of the rug on the floor for, kids to kind of play with. And I think that the rug is symbolic of a foundation for creativity and safety, right? Because it really represents this foundation or safe space where creativity, innocence, and play can really flourish. So it suggests the importance of like creating environments, both physical and metaphorical, where people, especially the young or those who are new to certain experiences, feel secure enough to express themselves freely and explore their potential. Now, obviously, this is about community and sharing, right? Because it's about children in general. So you think about putting the rugrats on the mat and allowing them to kind of run around and play on the rug. It symbolizes the communal aspect of play and also learning. So by placing the rug, there's an invitation for children to come together, share, and learn from each other. It also emphasizes community cooperation and the joy found in collective experiences rather than solitary ones. I think it also represents simplicity and joy, especially because the rug is such a simple item, and obviously, it highlights the idea that profound joy and learning can come from something simple, something that is very raw and natural, and a reminder not to overcomplicate life's pleasures in the learning process, because sometimes the most basic provisions can lead to the most profound experiences. I think this is also about, obviously, Aquarian themes. It's in the sign of Aquarius. So given its placement, it represents values like innovation, equality, having a space that could represent a diversity of different kinds of people, different sizes, ages, backgrounds, and giving them the opportunity to be able to interact with a diverse kind of group of other children. Obviously, this also represents a connection to education and play and innovations in learning. So maybe it's about introducing new ways to learn or new games that stimulate different learning styles. And this will kind of align with Aquarius's association with fast forward thinking and technology. And obviously the inner child is a huge theme here, because it's about individuals connecting with their inner child to find joy in simplicity and to remember the importance of play in adult life for creativity, obviously for things like stress release and also personal growth and self-expression. So I think for a lot of us, the Cazimi can represent in our personal life that this is really encouraging us to create and seek out spaces where we can be our most authentic self, and we can also innovate, learn, and simply enjoy the moment without any type of judgment. This is also within society, I think, kind of highlighting that it's going to be really inspiring community projects that are aimed at providing safe, creative spaces for children or possibly even adults, emphasizing the importance of public spaces and communal interaction as well as education. Obviously, on the themes of education, we might find that teachers are taking a cue to design learning environments that are less structured and more open to exploration, where students can learn through play and interaction and also learn to nurture their own, capabilities. Like if they are skilled at a particular skill, or, whether it's gardening or painting or reading or performing, we're going to be able to nurture those things that kids are going to, have a tendency to gravitate towards and also kind of perform better in. So rather than a one-size-fits-all type of vibe for education, we're going to be creating environments that are really going to inspire young people to nurture their talent, so that way they can really enjoy loving doing what they're doing as they grow up and become an adult. Now, obviously, for personal growth, I think this is all about embracing and nurturing those aspects of ourselves also that are curious, playful, open to new ideas, and also ensuring that we don't lose sight of the joy in learning as well as living. So in essence, this particular degree is kind of like a poetic reminder of the foundational roles in simplicity. Community as well as play is an important part of human development. And I think it's all about creating conditions where the human spirit can really thrive through play, learning, as well as interaction. Now, obviously, the aspects of this are very interesting to me. You guys are watching this a couple days prior, but the Sun and Mercury are moving very closely side by side. So as we kind of push this along a little bit, here we go. Let's take it to the 9th. There we go. We are going to see the Cazimi happen at 21 degrees. And 21 degrees deals specifically with Sagittarius degree. So that in a nutshell is going to be making it bigger, making it more relating to global matters. If you guys follow degree astrology, you know that 9 and 21 degrees are a Sagittarius degree. So the themes are going to be about community, connection, innovation, the future, technology, when it relates to foreign countries, everything that's foreign or abroad, foreigners, highways, main streets, boulevards, everything that's large, horses, horseback, tennis or tennis players, legs, hips, modeling, female fashion, publishing, books, journals, film, art, cinema, religion or a priest or of a religious nature, a colonel or a general, voyages, tourism, travel agencies, higher education, university or university students, wholesale import, export, as well as borders. Okay, so think globally in these terms, or the future of some of these things and how that's going to be playing out. So 21 degrees Cazimi here. I think the aspects that interest me the most are the fact that this is going to be sextiling Chiron. So it's going to be bringing up the fact that if we have the right community, the right audience, the right friendships, networks, and connections, meeting with like-minded people can actually help us feel less alienated, lonely, address some of our wounds, and also feel like we can re-emerge into society and not feel like an outsider. It's going to give us the opportunity to share some of our thoughts and ideas with other people, receive feedback, and be able to kind of tend to some of these personal wounds. So in that sense, I think it's wonderful. We're also going to be seeing that this is, it's a wide trine, but it is a trine to Jupiter and Gemini by about 10 degrees. So it's really kind of pushing it. But certainly Sun trine Jupiter, we have kind of felt that this last week about growth and optimism about the future, things rapidly progressing, especially when it comes to media, travel, learning, and all kinds of just getting hit every which way with news and information and media, particularly on the internet, which can be very much Aquarius. So with that Sun and Mercury trine, it's still playing off of the trines that we saw last week, which is kind of referencing, you know, some kind of good news, expansion in socializing, learning, connecting, traveling, communications, contracts, all of those things kind of play into that. And obviously we know that, you know, Mercury is strongly influencing Jupiter because Jupiter is in a mercurial sign. So that trine, I feel like, even though it's wide, we're still going to benefit from that. We're still going to see some kind of growth and optimism, ideas, keeping an open mind, being able to improve back and forth kind of dialogues with other people. Obviously, like I said, Mercury is also very much associated with the South Node. So when I think about the Sun and Mercury coming together, there can be this sense of awareness that's like, oh, this isn't working, you know, or this is broken, or, you know, this is some kind of mental challenge that I'm having, or this is some kind of health issue that's coming up, or job issue. We might see people kind of moving through some, you know, issues they're trying to kind of fix at work, some communication issues with groups. Maybe you have been facing some challenges in completing projects, and this might be a really good day to be able to schedule like a group meeting, to be able to throw ideas at the wall, come up with solutions, and talk about how you guys can work as a team to fix it. Now, the other thing that I notice in the background is that there is a inconjunct and quincunx that is taking place with the Moon and Mars. So if you look at that, it means like the Moon and Mars, so emotional heat, frustration, agitation, emotional outbursts, past emotional feelings, home, family, and domestic things are perhaps being cleared out in a group dynamic. So obviously the whole theme of Mars retrograde, especially in Cancer, has been going back to the past, clearing out some kind of karma revolving around our family relationships, our living situation, our homeland, and themes revolving around home and family security. So it may be a time where you're kind of saying, you know what, we need to come together and sort this out, or we need to have a sit down with the roommates, or, you know, we need to figure out what's going to be best for everybody involved. Simultaneously, we also see the Sun and Mercury starting to come into an inconjunct with the South Node. So you will see like a brief moment in time right around the time of the Cazimi where the Moon is going to move to sextile the South Node, and it will also be inconjunct or quincunx Moon and Mars. So we call this a yod, basically. Okay, so finger of fate is what people like to refer to it as. You know, I think that this could represent connecting with like the right group, you know, having an interesting conversation with a friend, you know, some kind of information about the future and how that may potentially influence where we're working, how we're working, what's going on with our schedules or our work routine, or, you know, the office that we will be going back and forth to as well as where we are living. Obviously, this has been a huge theme. You know, we've heard a lot of this, of a lot of returning back to the, you know, the office for a lot of companies. Certainly, it's been a big theme with this current administration, you know, asking federal employees to return back to work. So this can mean that this is about reacclimating, getting back into being around people, not just in a professional manner, although it's highlighted here, getting out of the house, returning to work, learning how to work with new teams, new systems, new technologies, but just reemerging back into society. Maybe there is this shift that's like there's been too much focus on work and obsessing over perfectionism and, you know, killing yourself with your schedule or worrying about work or finding work. And there is this need to kind of get out of the past, get out of the house, get out of those emotions, and find communities that we can network with. Go and hang out with our friends, having lunch, reconnecting with people, learning how to get back out there and feel a little bit more comfortable socially, I think is certainly going to be the key. A little difficult, I think, after the last couple of years. Certainly, it's been unusual. There's been a lot of isolation. There's been a lot of division. There's also been, I think, a lot of people who have suffered a great amount mentally and emotionally. And there's been lots of changes, obviously, with jobs and living situations. But socially, there has been this disconnection. And I think a lot of it's been because there's been most of our connections that have been in a digital way. So for some of you guys, it doesn't mean you have to physically connect. You might find this is a time where you're doing like a group chat with people, or maybe you're having a Zoom call with people, which is fine. Aquarius is the technology, but I think it's about just finding ways to not make all of our interactions transactional, not just make it be about work and the day-to-day. That's very South Node in Virgo. That North Node in Pisces is saying, how do you feel? How have you been? What are you going through? What do you need? How can I be there for you? What have you not told me? What have I not told you? Let's reconnect and let's share. So this can be a wonderful time to actually have a conversation that's like not about work, not about, you know, what's going wrong, not about, issues pertaining to all of the annoyances of life, but rather focusing much more deeply on an emotional connection and really strengthening the bonds that we have with other people. So don't be chit-chatting about the weather. Don't be talking about what's going on with work. Get to know others, and this can be an amazing opportunity to really expand when it comes to friendships. Now, obviously, just shortly after this, we are going to be seeing that there will be that square to Uranus. So you're actually going to see Mercury continue his trek just after the Cazimi. So that'll be pretty much in play most of the 9th. And then by the time we get to the 10th, Mercury is going to be hitting 23. So literally it's like epiphany, idea, shock, surprise, news, something unexpected, but good, and very much about future changes, especially financial patterns and things like that. And then Mercury squares Uranus. So then it's like, well, then there's a meeting of the minds and not everybody agrees. Then there's some shocking news that comes out about the future of the internet technology, some kind of global groups, and that news definitely rocks, rattles, and rolls the financial world. Uranus and Taurus, I think, is definitely huge themes about innovation in technology and how that's impacting the banking sector. This could also be a time where, maybe we've had the meeting and we have a difference of opinion, or we've connected with friends and something was said and then there was like a little bit of a riff, right? But I do think that not everybody has to agree. I think that we can navigate this transit in a way where we can keep an open mind and we can be more focused on the future and solutions and breaking out of old, like, dogmatic ways of living. And like, whether that's how we are with resources or spending our money or what we're eating or our values in general. Obviously, we're due for an upgrade. There is some kind of upgrade that's going to be coming with this aspect. And then shortly after that, then we're going to see the sun come in for the square as well. So the sun's going to be squaring closer to the 11th, and then you will see the sun square at 23 degrees. 23, 23, 23, a lot of Uranian energy. So just after the breaking news, whatever this Cazimi is out in the world, definitely the 10th and the 11th are going to be buck wild. Like, holy cow, trust me, you guys are going to see that. Especially because we will be coming into what will then be a full moon in Leo, which will square Uranus. So news headlines ablaze on the 9th, some kind of leaked information, stuff that's going on that is going to rock, rattle, and roll. And then we will see that full moon that's going to be on the 12th of February at none other than 24 degrees. So we got a little bit of a break from the 23s. Definitely a little bit more sensitive, intuitive, spiritual, magical, but we're still seeing the hard angles to Uranus. Sun square Uranus, anything goes day. Moon square Uranus, emotional kind of disruption day. And obviously a full moon in Leo brings all of the drama, romantic drama, stock market drama, drama revolving around our heart space and where we need to align more with who or what we truly love, even if that means it's going to create some financial or physical change. So this Cazimi's got legs, guys. It's definitely going to give us like little whispers of something before we start to see some of the shakeout that will proceed after the Cazimi. I'm predicting that we are going to be seeing some kind of big news relating to tech, specifically because, you know, that's what Mercury is, especially in Aquarius. The conjunction to the sun can be about some big announcement by a leader or a ruler. So it could be a prime minister, it could be a president, anything where they're making some kind of announcement about the future of technology and trade, okay, or innovations and trade. Now, I also think that these incoming squares to Uranus and Taurus is 100% going to affect the banking system, 100%. You're going to see a wild couple days here. Issues revolving around liquidity are going to be coming up, issues pertaining to, you know, volatility in the stock market, as well as crypto markets. Uranus and Taurus is crypto. Now, in the background, you know, Venus is in Aries now, and she's not happy in this sign. She is moving through a Mars-ruled sign, so she is seeing some fierceness and some challenges in the midst of her shadow when it comes to relationships, love, and money. So likely there is this really strong feeling or desire for personal resources, freedom, taking action, rushing into, you know, make decisions when it comes to love and money. And the squares to Uranus is like anything goes. So you're going to see one extreme or the other basically during this period of time. Now, I do think the Cazimi is good for travel and education. I really do. I feel like it can actually connect us with the right group, the right company to kind of help us plan a trip, or perhaps even doing something with our friends or with a community. I also think that it's great for education because it can give us some insight in terms of what direction we want to go in. Where do we want to go to school? What do we want to study? What interests us the most? Obviously, I do think that this is also a lot about connecting with an audience. So, you know, if we think of Leo as kind of the actor or the star or the performer, Aquarius is basically the audience, okay? Leo is the stage, Aquarius is the audience. So having the sun and Mercury there means that actually, if you want to shine, you want to include other people. You want to play on that rug with everybody else, or you want to get in the sandbox and hang out with everybody else, and you want to be able to create and collaborate, and that's where you're really going to shine. That's how you're going to be able to make it through this, by bringing in like-minded people, getting feedback, asking other people their thoughts, maybe revealing stuff that can be more personal, or being able to offer or receive some kind of help from other people. So great for connecting, especially with that trine to Jupiter. I think that's great for like newsletters, you know, posting stuff, promoting stuff, being able to get more traction on social media or getting some kind of feedback. Now, I am anticipating that this is going to be bringing up global business and trade themes, specifically because Mercury is business. Obviously, 21 is going to be about import and export. So I'm gonna go on a limb here, but I think that there's going to be some exciting news revolving around some of this. Obviously, we know there is a major redistribution of global powers going on right now. It may lead to some alliances that are surprising, but can actually be really beneficial, especially for things like technology. So chips and computers and parts and anything in regards to innovations in science, even healthcare, as well as connections that can be really, really significant for education. Now, I am expecting with that is going to come some total shakeups, okay? Because we're dealing with Uranian energy, we're dealing with a square as well. So I do anticipate that some of these changes with alliances or improving trade with certain places, or maybe even having some difficulties with other countries, is 100% going to be related to new tariff news. So how the tariffs are going to be impacting import or export or some kind of trade, at least here in the United States, and what's going on with where we're going to be shipping or receiving from. Now, I'm also anticipating that we're going to be hearing themes revolving around laws connecting to speech, information, and technology. Jupiter's laws, it's trining Jupiter. Obviously, Jupiter is also, Mercury is the dispositor of Jupiter. So you're going to hear a lot of people talking about some potential proposed bill. I don't know if it's going to be about a travel bill. I don't know if it's going to be, bills or laws revolving around transparency or freedom of speech. Certainly Aquarius likes freedom, as well as potential themes revolving around crypto bills. Now, if you guys have been following some of this stuff, the United States, the states in particular, not on a federal level, but the states are certainly leading the way, state by state. We just keep adding states to the list that are proposing legislation for strategic Bitcoin reserves. Now, I think that's very interesting, especially since there's a lot of correlations with the Bitcoin chart, if you guys have seen this in recent months. And there may be more news about the future of that. And we'll see what the future holds. But I'm anticipating those squares to Uranus. There's going to be some kind of connection to future crypto reserves and security, especially if people get a little weird or a little wonky. Obviously, the last week has been a little chaotic in the stock market, to say the least. So I think that it'll be interesting to see what direction it goes in now with some of the news that's going to be coming out. That's what I have for you guys today. Make sure you guys let me know what you think and your thoughts. I love hearing your feedback. And I'm very curious to see how this manifests, because I think this is going to be a little bit bigger given the connection to the South Node in Virgo than some people anticipate. So let's take a look and see how this is going to be impacting the 12 rising signs. As you guys know, I'm a Western astrologer. That's what I like to practice. So I'm going to be showing you this from the perspective of the whole sign Western tropical system. So I'm not a Vedic astrologer. I'm a Western astrologer. To make the most of my predictions, I recommend listening to your rising sign first. And the reason being is it's going to show you exactly where the Cazimi is taking place, which house it's taking place in. Gives you some insight as to what area of your life you want to be looking for this chance opportunity. Make sure you take a look at where Gemini and Virgo are located in your chart as well, because Mercury rules those houses. And as a reminder, my Geminis, my Virgos, and my Aquariuses, you guys are going to be really impacted by this the most, and anybody who's got any placements from about 20 to 22 degrees of Aquarius. So we're going to be starting first with my Aries and my Aries rising. How are you guys doing? We're going to be taking a look at the Mercury Cazimi happening on the 9th in your natal 11th house. All right, well, this could almost be like a party, right? It could be like a party. This is about friendships, goals, and social groups. So basically, Mercury is connected to your 3rd house of communication, short distance trips, anything revolving around vehicles, contracts, or negotiations, as well as your 6th house of health, habits, coworkers, and routines. So we're going to see the Sun and Mercury meeting in the 11th, and this may give you an opportunity to present something, to share something with a group of people, with a group of friends, somebody at work, or maybe there is like a strategy or a team building exercise, some kind of meeting. Maybe there's an email that goes out about changes that's going to be happening with staff, scheduling, or your job. Now, my advice for you is connect with like-minded individuals. You want to be spending time around other visionaries, and your social network really can be your think tank, right? Like, I'm an Aries moon, so part of the reason why I wanted to create a video that's giving information about me to my audience is because the transits were perfect for that. And it was a nice kind of breakup, and it's an opportunity to get feedback. So take something to a group of people, go and talk to them and share something that you've created. Be yourself and mix and mingle. This is also a time where I feel like new friendships or joining groups that align with your vision for the future are likely going to come in. So if you get an invitation to a group, if you're starting a group, if you want to introduce yourself to a group, this is a wonderful time to do that. I just really recommend participating in if not, then starting a group that can be either social or something kind of connected to leveraging technology, some kind of like activism, type of group that you can align with, okay? All right, so the card that I got for you is the Page of Cups, very much about partnerships, relationships. So this can be highlighting a relationship with a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but this can also be talking about making a real genuine emotional connection to someone else. An offer or an invitation might come your way. There can be some kind of business opportunity, networking opportunity that can bring in new people that you're meeting. And if you're looking for work, you're looking for a job, this would be an excellent time to kind of throw your hat in the ring, start sussing out some applications, or maybe putting your resume out there. Likely somebody may bite. Good luck, Aries. All right, so we've got Taurus and Taurus rising. What's going on, Taurus? You're going to be experiencing the Mercury Cazimi in your natal 10th house. All right, so for you, Taurus, obviously the 10th house is going to deal all with your career, your public image, anything in regards to your reputation at work or relationship with superiors. Now, Mercury is connected to money, resources, values, and self-esteem, as well as children, romance, creativity, self-employment. So this can be a moment of something very significant that's being seeded. I see this as, you know, a chance for you to really innovate your career path or your public persona, and you're thinking futuristically, right? How I see myself making money in the future, what I would like to be working on, how I can be more creative. So I predict for you that there could be a career shift towards more fast forward thinking industries or roles. I'm really recommending for my Taurus risings to update your LinkedIn or professional websites, and potentially even pitch innovative ideas at work, because you're going to be seen. People are going to hear you, and maybe you've been marinating on some stuff for a little while. Maybe there is some grand announcement that you're already planning on making. Certainly with some of the aspects to Jupiter, it could be very positive for you, especially financially. Card that I got for you is the Hanged Man. I can't help but laugh at this card because I feel like a lot of that is Venus in your 12th right now. So a lot of you guys are like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, maybe just like sprinkle out some of the stuff that I'm gonna be working on, but like it's not ready yet. It's still cooking, right? It's still marinating. I would say that this is something maybe you've been thinking about for a long time, or an announcement you've been thinking about making for a long time, or a second line of income, or a different business or something you're launching. There could be some hesitation, but I feel like now is the time, right? Especially coming into this full moon, which is going to be in Leo. It's going to square Uranus. It's definitely time to kind of switch things up when it comes to you and your role, when it comes to your career as well as your home life, and changes the name of the game. So it's almost like, don't wait too long to make this change. And I think a couple days after the Cazimi, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about as you see the aspects to Uranus in your sign. It's time to innovate and think about where you're going. Good luck, Taurus. We've got Gemini and Gemini rising. You're going to be experiencing the Mercury Cazimi in Aquarius in your natal 9th house. All right, Gemini. Well, obviously you love Cazimis because it's a moment for you to be able to have like an important chance meeting or conversation or kind of epiphany. Mercury rules your sign, so you may very much be hanging out and doing 9th house things, traveling, learning, studying, right? Shifting something about your belief system, something regarding education, publishing, legal things. It could even be travel, right? You could find yourself in an airport or traveling somewhere or booking a spontaneous trip. Now, Mercury is also connected to your home and family life, so that might play into some of the themes. And obviously Mercury rules your 3rd house. So traveling with siblings, legal documents, paperwork, visas, that kind of stuff can be coming up for you as well. Or maybe there's just a change in direction in terms of how you see the world, and you're better kind of expressing that with others. Watch for chance opportunities to meet people while you're traveling, or possibly a very insightful conversation that can be beneficial for you. Now, obviously, philosophy, travel, and education are highlighted. So I would be exploring new philosophies or education paths. Maybe this is a day that you make a decision, and likely it's going to be something that's unconventional. I'm predicting that there will be opportunities to either travel or study abroad. They may appear, or you might get wind of it. And obviously there's going to be topics like focusing on technology or social sciences. And I would really recommend like looking up online courses, or maybe even like virtual reality travel experiences, or you're going and doing some research about a place that you would consider traveling to or relocating to. This can be another theme for you as well. Card they got for you is the 7 of Wands. So you're like, I am determined, right? I will finish my degree even if it kills me, or I will be damned if I miss my flight. standing your ground and being very focused on being able to get to where it is that you want to go, literally or figuratively speaking. Obviously, it can definitely be more about education than travel for some people. And I think that this is a significant turning point where you're going to see the opportunity to see more clearly with where some of these topics are going to be taking you. Okay? So don't back down, stand your ground. That's my recommendation with the Seven of Wands. All right, good luck, Gemini. Let me know what happens with that transit for you. We've got Cancer and Cancer rising. You'll be experiencing a Mercury Cazimi in the sign of Aquarius, and this will be happening in your natal 8th house. All right, so Cancer, obviously the 8th house can be a little spooky. This is a house that definitely deals with shared resources, transformation, intimacy, change, transformation, endings, and beginnings. Joint resources definitely are a huge theme I find in the 8th house. So like tax matters, insurance matters, inheritance matters. These things can kind of come up as well. Now, Mercury rules your 12th house of endings, conclusions, and completions, as well as the 3rd house of communication, siblings, and traveling, learning, that kind of stuff. So with the Cazimi taking place in your 8th house, first of all, it's very financial. It's in your 8th house of joint income, and it is conjunct your 2nd house lord of your money. So my advice is to be open, first of all, to transformation, especially in financial or intimate partnerships. This may be a day that you see a chance opportunity to receive support, or maybe you find out you're getting a refund, or maybe there is some kind of missing document when it comes to your taxes or something you've had to submit that you're able to catch. I also feel like this can be really significant for deep psychological changes. You know, I would encourage you guys to really think long and hard. If you're struggling with something mentally or emotionally, perhaps this is a day that you say, you know what, I'm gonna go work with a therapist. I'm going to do some deep self-reflection. It can be very therapeutic and very beneficial, talk therapy in particular. However, this can be a time where you're also considering investigating ways to make money. So you might be investigating cryptocurrencies or shared investment opportunities and having insightful conversations about how to make the most of your resources and do something with your savings, or be able to have access to other people's money of some kind. So think like loans or lines of credit, things like that can be popping up for you as well. Card that I got for you is the Queen of Swords. So look for support from Geminis, Libras, as well as Aquariuses. It's interesting that this is in Aquarius, so it might literally be with another Aquarius. I think this is about owning your truth and being really honest and direct with other people about what you want to change, what you're afraid of, what you've been, afraid of or cautious of discussing. Maybe it's about being brave and kind of feeling like you're finally going to have a conversation with somebody about some of these topics, and you're going to be able to, protect your assets and your ideas as well. So speak up, don't be afraid of talking about what challenges you or where you feel blocked. And likely you're going to find an opportunity to kind of break through that wall and not feel stuck in the 8th house. You'll be able to finally kind of feel seen or heard in some way. Secrets can come out with the Cazimi in the 8th house as well. So it could be something that you uncover through email, text message, something that somebody says, directly connected to siblings, neighbors. Okay, that's a big theme. Or, hearing about stuff that was kind of like kept from you. So watch for that. Good luck, Cancer. We've got Leo and Leo rising. This will be fun for you, Leo. You've got a Mercury Cazimi in Aquarius in your natal 7th house. Obviously your opposite sign, so it deals a lot with your relationship, the sun, to other people, 7th house. Now, Mercury deals with your money and your resources, as well as your friends, your allies, and your goals. So there can be a lot of talking to your partner about your financial goals, talking to your friends about financial situations, support maybe that's coming from another person who wants to connect, collaborate with you, support you in some way. I think that this can also be about clients. This could be about your relationship to committed partnerships, to legal matters, clients, and anybody who represents you is basically the 7th house. So my advice for Leo and Leo risings, because Mercury is the one bringing you a message, likely there's going to be a conversation you're going to have with another person that's going to be very insightful. I recommend communicating openly in relationships and seeking innovative solutions to conflicts or problems, especially financial issues, self-esteem issues, issues revolving around friendships or goals. Now, I'm predicting that new partnerships, possibly in business or your personal life, can definitely appear. And there can be this focus on the future of relationships, or your current partnership can be saying, where do you see this business going? Or, a boyfriend or girlfriend says, do you see us getting married? Some kind of shock or surprise revolving around the future together is likely going to be manifesting. For some of you guys who are in committed partnerships, this could be a day also where you have a partner telling you, I'm pregnant. Because the Mercury connection to the 11th house is 5 signs away from the 7th. So it can be about somebody saying, I'm pregnant, I love you, or let's start a family. So watch for that. And I would just recommend using mediation or any kind of collaborative tools to resolve any issues, and possibly even brainstorm about starting a new business or offering a new service can be really great here as well. Ooh, the card that I got for you guys is the Death card. I don't see this as an ending, although Mercury, is being reborn in the heart of the sun. I see this as kind of being like one phase of a relationship is ending, another one is emerging, because this is a good aspect, right? 2 days later, full moon in your sign, super emotional, it's squaring Uranus. So there's definitely something changing in regards to your career, your status, but I feel like it's being brought on by some kind of information coming from another person that's helping you kind of break free from how you've been living, where you've been working, or how you've been seen publicly. Leo, good luck. Let me know what happens. We've got Virgo and Virgo rising. Obviously, Virgo, this is an important one for you as you're ruled by Mercury. So you'll have a Mercury Cazimi in your 6th house, which is a house that you're faintly familiar with, right? So the Mercury Cazimi in the 6th house is taking into consideration your 1st house lord, which is you, and your 10th house lord, which is your career, and it's combining it in the 6th. So one thing I'll say is that the sun rules the 12th house. So you got to watch out for opposition and challenges with people at work. Something can be shown to you where somebody or something is working against you. It can be a teammate, it can be a fellow, employee, it can be somebody who is your assistant, it could be some kind of challenge also that you're having with like a pet. So these things can happen in the 6th house. But I think for the most part, the overall topics of the 6th house is going to be health, work, and daily routine. So my advice is to introduce new systems or tech into your work or health routine. Using apps, right? Managing your health, you may be tracking your steps, maybe what you're eating, how you're sleeping, your habits in general. I also predict a breakthrough in how you manage your daily tasks or your health. And I would really recommend trying to kind of like automate parts of your job to increase, your efficiency. Now, on the other hand, you're waiting for test results, right? You're waiting to hear back from your doctor. The Cazimi could be about you getting that information, getting some kind of feedback also in regards to, your performance at work. This could be part of the Cazimi. Changing offices, getting a new job, getting a new schedule, these things can happen as well. And it can be a significant turning point where you're like, okay, one phase of where I've been working or how I've been working is ending, or one phase of how my health has been is ending. There is something new that's coming. I also feel like for a lot of you guys, this is about getting your office or your schedule in order. And maybe this is that turning point where you're like, okay, this has not been working, or this schedule hasn't been working, or, now we know how to like rearrange our staff or the teams to be more efficient. And so this can be like that turning point where you're like, okay, now we know exactly what we need to do. I personally have seen this in my own chart where it's been, the Cazimi in the 6th, and it's like, oh, okay, I need to stop this habit, or something goes missing in my office and I find it. So I think you guys will navigate it okay. It's just any productivity or organization or streamlining of your day-to-day routine is really going to help you improve when it comes to your career. All right, so the card that I got for you guys is the 2 of Wands. Being open and optimistic about what the future holds in terms of your work, okay? For some of you guys, Pluto going in the 6th house, it's dramatic changes in your workspace with your schedule. Maybe you're going into a different type of work. Maybe it just means that you're considering like a second path. And the 2 of Wands is saying like, the way that you're approaching some of the changes, or maybe what you're kind of realizing about where or how you're working, you're being a little bit more optimistic. I attribute some of that maybe to the trine to Jupiter in your 10th house. And now that Jupiter is direct, you can actually see a lot more growth when it comes to your professional life and your reputation. So keep an open mind. Start thinking about how you can kind of shift things and align maybe your schedule and your health or your routine to be able to receive some of the goodness that's going to come from Jupiter in your career house. Good luck, Virgo. All right, we got Libra and Libra rising. Libra, you're going to be experiencing a Mercury Cazimi in Aquarius. So this isn't a fellow air sign, which is friendly, obviously, for both Gemini and Libra, especially if you've got anything 20 to about 22 degrees. So we're taking your 12th house Lord, which is your subconscious, what's hidden, what's happened in the past, what's private, as well as your 9th house Lord, which can be about travel, education, and philosophy, and placing it in the 5th house. So the Cazimi aspect in the 5th house is going to be highlighting the topics of creativity, dating, children, self-expression, creative projects, taking chances. My advice for Libra risings is to really let your creativity run wild. Experiment with new forms of artistic expression, be open to dating, new or unusual people. There might be new hobbies that are also emerging for you with this particular transit. And I predict that a new creative project might take off, or you could meet someone through shared interests. Certainly there could be chance meetings in the romantic department. Somebody that you don't see coming can definitely show up into your life. Shocks and surprises revolving around children as well. And it might be a time where something that you're creating, that you're getting ready to share with a group, it can also be indicating that there is some subconscious stirring going on, which is like really necessary for you to have like a creative outlet. Unexpected things revolving around children. So children surprising you, children showing up, unexpected pregnancies, that can definitely happen with this particular Cazimi in your 5th house. I am a Libra rising, but if I were you, I would say also attending workshops or events that can be both creative / playtime, but also things that are going to blend technology or stuff that's kind of connected to science or even humanitarianism. I mean, that could be another thing with the Cazimi in your 5th. Am I missing anything? No, just take the time to be able to kind of have the opportunity to exercise some of your creative muscles, and maybe you haven't taken time to just have time off to decompress and be able to do whatever you want to do. And it might take a little bit of time to start seeing what it is that you want to, kind of be doing on your free time. But something is going to start to become clear of where you need to be prioritizing and really focusing on. All right, so the card that I got for Libra and Libra risings is none other than the Justice card. Finding balance in that playtime or time off or time to create or time to date or to be in love or indulge in something is necessary, right? It's going to be about keeping the balance. And I think that that's true with all the planets going through your 5th house. I feel like a lot of you guys need that, or a lot of you guys need kind of a change in pace in your day-to-day routine. Certainly, you're going to see with Venus going retrograde into your 6th house next month, there's going to be an opportunity to kind of change up your schedule, focus on your health, focus on your wellness, and maybe you're doing that so you can kind of prioritize doing things that you really love and enjoy, or making time for dating and children. Okay? Good luck, Libra. Let me know how it goes. We've got Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Scorpio, you're going to have a Sun Mercury Cazimi in your natal 4th house of home and family. So obviously Pluto going through your 4th house is a big change, Scorpio, right? Your chart ruler now in your 4th house, which deals with your roots, the past, your parents, your living situation, the foundation of your life. It's all kind of being reevaluated and reworked right now. Sometimes it feels like a tornado because Pluto comes in, it destroys things, but it does have a good reason to do this. And it's trying to get you to think about where you see yourself in the long term when it comes to your private life. Now, the Cazimi aspect is taking into consideration your 11th house Lord, as well as your 8th house Lord, and placing it in the 4th. So topics revolving around friendships, community, connections, goals, and also shared resources, endings, beginnings, psychological shifts, and it's meeting in the 4th. The 10th house ruler is the sun, so it can be something about something that you're doing work-wise and how it's kind of blending in with where you're living. So like finding solutions to work from home, finding that there's some kind of insightful conversation you have with a family member, a roommate, or a parent. There can be also a friend coming to visit or coming to stay with you. You can get some news about a change going on in a friend's life. I would just, give you guys the advice that you really want to reimagine your living space or your family dynamics. I think that's the name of the game, and how to be able to have a better kind of work-life balance. I know you guys have been working on this. It's been hard with Mars retrograde in opposition to Pluto these last few months. You feel like you can't have work and your home life, that they're kind of at odds. But I feel like this is that turning point that's going to give you some insight as to just exactly what needs to change at home, so that way you can kind of have the future that you want. I'm predicting your home environment might undergo a tech upgrade, or there could be a shift in family roles. It's really smart to consider, new family traditions that can foster innovation. Some of you guys might be finding out some family secrets. You can be talking about an estate matter or some kind of an inheritance matter. You might be finding out money is coming your way that you didn't see coming. It can also be something revolving around a conversation with a man in the family. So think like husband, brother, father figure, grandfather. And obviously the fourth house is a bit of a testy house because it does represent ends of situations. So some of you guys might be saying, you know what, I'm moving away from this house. It's too expensive, or we need to refinance the mortgage. Something like that can kind of be coming up. So watch for that transit. And it can be very, very intuitive for you too as well, Scorpio, with that connection to the 8th house and the 4th. Card that I get is the Lover's card. What a great card. Talking more intimately with people that are either in your family or people who you're in a relationship with about just exactly what you want to change and how you feel, right? The Lover's card can be about devotion and dedication, but it's also about transparency and vulnerability. Major turning points when it comes to some Scorpio risings and their love life. And I could see that with Venus getting ready to go retrograde in your 5th house. I could see that with the full moon that's also going to be coming in for Scorpio. Obviously, especially if you're like 20 to 24 degrees, we're going to see the full moon is going to create a grand fixed cross. So if you don't have anything in those degrees, you're still going to have the moon in the 10th, the sun in the 4th, and then that's going to square Uranus. So it almost seems like there's a conversation that's going to happen in the family that could rock the boat. And it could rock the boat with a spouse, it could rock the boat with another relative, and something could be said around this particular eclipse. But if you focus more on love and devotion and staying committed to certain relationships and being able to smooth things out, I think you guys can navigate this okay. Good luck, Scorpio. We've got Sag and Sag rising. What's going on, Sag? You're going to be having a Mercury Cazimi in your natal 3rd house. The Sun-Mercury conjunction will be taking place. And this is actually an interesting place to have the Cazimi because Mercury performs very well in the 3rd house. So we're taking into consideration your relationship ruler, Mercury, as well as your career ruler, Mercury, and we're putting it in the 3rd. So I would anticipate significant insights, conversations, communication with partners, clients, or people at work. Certainly siblings and neighbors are going to play a huge role here as well because the 3rd house is siblings. And I would just advise you guys to engage in thought-provoking conversations or community activities. I think some of you guys might be having important conversations with your siblings, or maybe planning travel with siblings or with partners. You could meet somebody while you're going on a trip. If you're single, you could meet somebody on an app. So if you're on the dating apps, there could be some kind of connection here. And I also think that like your neighborhood might see some major social changes or like some technological advancement. I would recommend with this transit maybe to consider starting a new blog, starting a podcast, joining a local group of some kind. Some of you guys might be pushing the purchase button on a trip. You're booking some kind of trip, or maybe you're planning on a move. So some movement might be kind of happening with one place to another. Great time to put out a newsletter or an email blast. So if you need to make an announcement to clients, or if you need to be talking to a lot of people at work professionally, this is a time where I think you can get like a lot of traction and recognition and people who are going to be receptive to hearing what you have to say. Watch for themes revolving around travel, spontaneous travel, sudden travel, surprise travel, partners, surprising you with a trip or something. And then 2 days later, you're like, oh my God, my schedule, how do I swing it? But it's definitely going to be something that's going to be really beneficial also in regards to writing and contracts. So watch for that. Card that I got for you is the Magician card. I like this card for the Cazimi because the Cazimi makes me feel like something is like being like drummed up or kind of like summoned. And the Magician card is very much as above, so below. So if you can imagine something, if you can visualize it, you can literally bring it down, right? So what are you writing and asking for? Maybe write your wishes down on this day and like carry them around with you or kind of meditate on them. Maybe it's going to be about you finding a way to kind of drum up some new kind of online business or be able to put together or create or envision a new website or a new blog or social media channel. It can be really great for making professional announcements or for starting some kind of new online business. So let the Magician kind of symbolize whatever your dreams are and what you're kind of hoping to kind of bring into your reality. Good luck, Sag. I love that for you. We've got Capricorn and Capricorn rising. What's up, Capricorn? We have a Mercury Cazimi and Aquarius in your second house of money, self-esteem, personal possessions, and income. Now, obviously, Mercury is connected to your work, your daily routine, health, and habits, as well as the 9th house, which deals with law, legality, travel, education, the higher mind, and your philosophies. So off the bat, a Sun Mercury Cazimi in the second house is potentially some big news in regards to money or resources, or a change in regards to your self-esteem, or maybe even your value system. But I think that this is about really innovating how you handle your finances and your resources. And I also think that this is going to be providing you with insights into earning or investing in unconventional ways. I recommend exploring new income streams, especially those involving technology or community projects. Maybe this is a time where, you get some insight that there's an opportunity to, invest in something, and you start reading all the data and like all the analytics on an investment, and you're like, this is going to be huge. I'm going to make this investment. Boom. It could also be a time where you get some unexpected news legally revolving around money or travel. You could be getting a job offer, certainly with Sun conjunct Mercury. You could be in the middle of a negotiation process or a legal settlement, and then suddenly, the offer comes in for you to be able to kind of wrap that up. I do think that it's spelling out good news if you're going to be investing in travel or in higher education as well. So if you've been waiting to hear whether or not, you have the funds to book a trip, or if you've been waiting to find out if you get the bonus, or if you've been accepted into a program, this may very likely be the time where you're going to see all of that kind of come together. The card that I got for you is the Nine of Swords, which is an interesting card for Capricorn and Capricorn rising. And I could see why maybe there is some kind of like concerns or trepidation revolving around just what the news is going to be. But money in your pocket is the second house, right? And then other people's money is the 8th house. So 2 days later, 2 days later, when we have the full moon in Leo, so it'll be here in your 8th house, it's going to oppose the sun and it's going to square Uranus. So I feel like it's actually going to be good. So you might be worrying about a financial situation. You might be stressed out as to whether or not something's going to close, or if you're going to be able to, agree on something, or if you're going to be able to kind of get something refunded to you or paid for. I would not stress about it. Nine of Swords is, for me, always been a card that's like, there's no point in stressing over something that you have no control over. Likely you're waiting for an answer, you're waiting for somebody to give you some kind of feedback before you get some insight about where this is going to go. That full moon's going to square Uranus in your 5th. I feel like big risk, big reward for a lot of you guys. And I think it's going to actually be a lot better than you think. So stop stressing out about whatever is kind of going on financially. I think it's actually going to go very, very well for you guys. Good luck. We've got Aquarius and Aquarius rising. What's up, Aquarius? We are going to be seeing, obviously, a Mercury Cazimi in your sign. So you got to carry around your handy dandy notebook like Steve. So that way you can jot down or make a note or even an audio note of just whatever comes up for you during this transit, okay? Usually in the first house, and especially if it's going over right over your ascendant, or if it's going over personal planets, it's going to be very personal to you. And whether that's who am I, what do I need to change, what do I want, what's going to make me happy, these kinds of things can be kind of coming up. So in the first house, it's self and identity. Now the 8th house is about change, transformation, joint resources, endings and beginnings. and the 5th house, which deals with creativity, self-expression, joy, happiness, and dating. Off the bat, with some of the aspects, the loose trine to Jupiter, the fact that, Mercury is very much the dispositor of Jupiter and it's the 8th house ruler, I'm predicting a lot of Aquarius and Aquarius risings are going to find out they are pregnant. So it's kind of written all over this chart. And if it's not pregnancy, it's big news with your kid, or it's going to be some big creative project that you're launching, or some significant turning point in your love life. Really, really, really big for you guys. Now, I'm going to skip ahead for a second. 2 days after the Cazimi, you have a full moon in your 7th house, and it's going to oppose your sign, square Uranus, which is your modern day ruler. So there is some kind of back and forth where you're going through some kind of change or some kind of awareness of, what do I need? What do I want? Do I want more freedom? Am I changing? And if I am, does this mean that I need to change where I'm living? Does this mean I need to change something about my home, my family? Watch for that, because it's going to be a several day period where you're going to see this kind of come up. If it's not pregnancy, it's going to be, I think, like I said, a turning point in your romantic life. I feel like what a great transit with the Sun conjunct Mercury to say, what am I willing to change? And then also be talking or thinking about your unique identity. And I would say, don't shy away from standing out. I predict there's a new way of presenting yourself, or a change in your personal style could definitely emerge in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like this is also about maybe like updating your social media profiles, maybe changing something about your personal branding. So if you're somebody who's kind of like in the spotlight, that might be kind of shifting in some way. I think you might have just an awareness of just who or what you really love. And I think this is a day that I would just stay really open to new forms of creative self-expression, whether that's writing, podcasting, blogging, anything like that, because you're going to have like a breakthrough where you'll be able to create something that is very, very significant. All right, so the card that I get for Aquarius and Aquarius rising is King of Coins. Look for support that can come from a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn, but I think this could be like a very lucrative money-making idea, or you have like a breakthrough when it comes to your finances and your resources, and you're like, okay, I've created something that's great. Like, I think this has legs, like it's going to take off, right? And being very business savvy and very logical and very practical in how you're approaching some things, taking responsibility for what you're working or growing on, or just being a little bit more mature. Good luck, Aquarius. Let me know what happens for you, what big insight you have with this one. All right, we got Pisces and Pisces rising. This is a fun one, Pisces. The Mercury Cazimi in your 12th house. Spirituality, the subconscious, and secrets. Well, for me, I've always seen this manifest for me as like a really prominent dream. Like there's a lot of symbolism, or I'm like meditating a lot and I end up kind of seeing something repetitively, or I feel like there's like intuitive downloads that are just happening like crazy. So watch for that. They might be a little bit more subtle, but if you're in a more relaxed state, or if you're sleeping, you're more likely to receive some of that, because the 12th house is about sleep. I would advise you to dive deep into self-exploration, right? Now, technology might aid in your understanding of your psyche, and also therapy. That's something else that can kind of come up with this transit. I predict that insights from dreams or meditations could lead to healing or spiritual awakening. And obviously, for this, I really like the idea of maybe rearranging your bedroom, maybe working with like a meditation or a dream analysis app, writing down some of your intuitive hits or your dreams to help you better kind of navigate where you're going in the future. Mercury deals with your 4th house of your home and family. So there can also be dreams of ancestors that come in, or feeling like they're guiding you, or some kind of like psychic reading that you get to connect with the other side. If you've been looking for answers about where you should be moving, where you should be living, those answers can come to you. And this can also be a time where you feel like you need more support. Now, Mercury rules your relationships, and obviously the South Node's in your 7th house. So that can mean that you're feeling like there's more distance in a relationship, maybe challenges in communication. Maybe you're trying to figure out what's going on with somebody, or how to overcome a hurdle with a client or a romantic partner, or with like a business partner. This can also be a time where you're kind of saying to yourself, you know what, I'm not seeing so clearly in regards to a relationship. Let me go and get a psychic reading. Let me talk to a therapist, somebody who can give me some kind of insight and tell me what the heck is going on and like what direction I'm supposed to be going in. And usually when planets are in the 12th house, things don't really make sense. We can't see very clearly. Obviously, I know that a lot of you guys have been trying to figure out maybe where you're going to be moving to or whether or not you want to stay or go in a relationship. So watch for Mercury to relay some of this information to you and kind of let you guys know whether or not what you're feeling in your gut is the right way to go. The card that I got for you is the Four of Cups. Okay, so this can be a little bit more about like keeping to yourself, being a little distant. Maybe there can be this feeling of being a little like blue. Obviously, the Four of Cups is about feeling like detached or not thrilled or not satisfied. And so it's possible with the Sun conjunct Mercury here, you're not satisfied with a relationship. You're not satisfied with a friendship. And there's something that is just kind of rubbing you the wrong way. But I think the opportunity here is to kind of recognize and realize why you have been separated from someone or something intentionally, so you can kind of see what the dynamic is like not having that person or that thing around, and how it actually can kind of better help you when it comes to your physical or your mental health, in my opinion. Anyway, I hope that's helpful for you, Pisces and Pisces risings. Really excited to see how this one kind of manifests. So you guys will have to leave me your comments below and let me know what happens. Obviously, we just want to embrace, you know, this blend of Mercury's kind of like analytical power with the revolutionary spirit of Aquarius. I would just say be open to change, but also be mindful that there is going to be some unpredictable energy due to Uranus's influence. Document your ideas. There might be brilliant stuff coming up for you. Engage in activities that foster innovation, social connection, and personal growth. And look for these big moments of clarity, new connections, and the urge to break free from the past. Expect surprises or sudden shifts in your plans. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You guys can also catch me back here tomorrow. We're going to be doing live astrology readings. I'll post in the community tab if you guys want to sign up for that. I will be here at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That's going to be 4 p.m. on the Pacific Coast and 7 p.m. Eastern. I hope you join me there for a reading. And don't forget to submit your questions for my video that I'm going to be working on for the Get Ready With Me. Let me know what questions you guys have. I can't wait to engage with you. Play on the rug with everybody and talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I've been working on. All right, that's all for me today. I'll see all of you guys very soon. Enjoy the rest of your week and take care.